just wanted to go over some more exact numbers a little bit and figure out how much we actually have to play with next year, and that will maybe forecast and shape our trade deadline this year, depending what contracts we can pick up dump-wise and what we're playing with in the future. So we're going to go through a couple numbers. This is more of like a part 3, I guess, but like part 2 to my why did we pick up Bruce Brown's option. So I'm going to go over a couple things quickly. Without fully explaining them, you have to go back to that video. So right here we go. First number is under the cap, which is the cap floor, $139 million projected for 2025, 2026, right? So $139 million, we don't have to really worry about that number in a sense because we're looking at 2 other numbers here that are really important. So over the cap is $154 million. So the salary cap for next year is projected to be $154 million. Remember that number because we're going to come back to it in a second. And then first apron is $195 million. So there's a space of about $41 million, which was previously the $38 million that we used Bruce to access. So let's go back to our salary cap sheet here. Now that we have those 2 numbers in place, the salary cap projection for 2025, 2026 is $154 million. Right now, with all the contracts expiring as is, we have 151 allocated next year. And I'll go through the contracts a little bit more. So that leaves us with $44 million under the first apron, at where the first apron is $195 million. So we got $44 million basically to work with, but we have expenses and some of the money we have to key in for certain things, right? So let's go up and look at who we have coming back next year. So obviously Bruce Brown's an expiring, so that has to be calculated in if we get any salary back from that. Chris Boucher, that's a question mark still whether we bring him back, what his number looks like. I think we could maybe go at like a vet minimum level, so like 6, 7, right? Davion Mitchell's a question whether we bring him back for 8.7, right? I'm going to add up all this in a second, but I just want to go through a couple of the different people that are in question here. Garrett Temple, maybe we bring back for another 3. We're picking up all the options on our kind of young prospects here. Shed Mobile already locked in. Maybe Battle comes back. So we have a couple expenses, but we also have to look to the future where we have a first-round pick that's going to probably be high in the draft, so there's going to be a certain amount of salary attached to that. So maybe we pencil in from 8 to 10. I don't know how, it depends exactly where we go, and higher up the scale, the more the money fluctuates. So we got to pencil in just a range for now. And then we have another pick, a second, that's higher up in the second. So we're probably looking at a similar amount right here to what these guys got here, like a $2 million maybe, right? So we'll pencil in that. So that's about 10, 12 million in new picks. So let's go over it. So Garrett Temple, maybe we get, that's 15 million off the 44 million. So we're looking at 29 million for Davion, whether we bring him back, Chris Boucher, whether we get anything from him, or Bruce Brown. So we're looking at 29 million. But a couple keynotes in the reason why we have less money is 10 turns into 38 on Scotty Barnes, and that takes up about 28 of the cap we free. So it depends if we get a bigger, larger contract, we won't bring back probably Bruce or Davion. If we end up waiving just Bruce, we might sign back Chris and Mitchell. If we end up trading Bruce for a similar contract, we might be able to fit Boucher on the vet min and whatnot, and still. So we'll have a couple expirings maybe, right? So we're looking at Ochai's expiring, so we have to make a decision on him next year, right? And we have Kelly, which is under the MLE. But if we all say like no to Bruce Brown, we can still use our next year's MLE and our biannual exception to get up to $29 million in contracts. So we're very flexible at the moment. We can choose to waive everyone, not signing one back, sign back a couple, use the MLE and biannual. We're in a good position, I think, contract-wise, roster-wise. We're holding our main assets a little bit longer, like Quickly, RJ Barrett. Obviously, Scotty Barnes is locked in. So the only main two people I think are really hard locked in and with big amounts at the moment are Quickly and Barnes. And then Grady Dick will need a new contract at some point. Ochai will make a decision on him. Walters will make a decision on. These guys will make decisions on. And I'm sure that, see how, everything works out. Each guy's it's not all lumped expiring. Only our short-term expirings are like that. So we'll be able to plan out throughout. But I think the amount we're looking at is maybe $29 million, a little bit more maybe, to be like a range, right? So have a good one. Hopefully it was clear enough. Thank you.